And this is the challenge odd from the 2024 edition, Spokane Supercut number 5. So, as always, we're going to start with the challenge file. And it says, even characters are overrated. You have all of the vowels, slash, and question mark. What could possibly go wrong? And if we look at the odd.py file, let's see what this means. It's taking in some input, and then it's executing it. But this isValid function is ensuring that the character is odd, meaning that like A, which is hex 41, is valid. Sorry, not is it hex 41? Yeah, I think it's hex 41. But then 42 would be B, which would be invalid. So your goal is to execute a command that allows you to print the flag or get the flag in some way without using even characters. We had a rendition of this challenge, but only using even characters, and I actually thought it was kind of quite a bit harder. I think this challenge is actually quite a bit easier than the other one, but it still requires some knowledge on how stuff works. So with this knowledge, we go into the challenge itself. If we do run and I type in ABC, it'll tell me it's invalid because of all the characters. If I do AAA, it tells me it is valid. So we have a good amount of stuff to work with here, but still kind of limited what we can do. So in the prompt, it said that we have slash, which is super helpful, and we have question mark. And question mark may not seem super useful, but it actually is. So right now we have this, but the question mark character can be used as a single character wildcard. If you've ever seen Star, Star says it will fill everything going forwards and backwards, while the question mark only fills a single character in line. And that question mark gives us a lot of freedom to work with, and so does this slash. If we can use the slash and the question mark and a set of even characters, we should be able to call various programs. Now, if we look at slash bin, for instance, we have quite a few different things that could be interesting to call. Bash could be interesting. Ash could be interesting. Shell. There's a lot of different stuff that could be helpful. However, from testing and trying various things, I found the most useful thing was to try the different text editors. So things like Vim, Ed, Emacs, and Nano all have characters that are really nice to use. So for instance, if we have Nano slash bin slash and question and O, executes it for us, which is kind of nice. But you'll notice that we have that B there. So what if we put a question mark there? So using this, you just have to try various directories until you get to a point where you have or where it works. So let's do run, and we can try slash question mark I can't remember if N is part of that as well. N question and O. So it says that's valid. Okay. So there's other things we can do as well, though, of course. What character is invalid there? If we use Python, we can do ord of character. Do I. I is odd. N is even. Okay, that makes it much harder. So what if we just try question mark I question mark slash N question mark N O? How does that go? Invalid. Okay. What else? What else are we doing here? N. N is also even. So I feel like Nano's not a good choice. But we have lots of other programs to choose from. For instance, Vim. We can do ord of V. That is even. What about I? I is odd. M is also odd. It's a good start. So if we do run, and we can see which Vim this is at. So it's going to be user/bin/vim. And so if I was trying to guide a student on this, I would look at the ASCII chart, like straight up. And looking at the ASCII chart is really helpful to pick out what characters are actually doable. I just don't have that directly in front of me, so I'm trying to do it on the fly. So we can do /us /?I // so it's gonna be user bin ?im. If we do that, we get popped into Vim, and then Vim gives us the capability to run bash commands, which is great. So we can just do cat flag. So I think I did that wrong. So :! cat flag.txt, and boom. Gotta love the star. That says SC3 because originally I was going to do this as a challenge a couple years ago, but I am not using it. So yeah, that is the odd challenge. And there's actually another challenge in this series called no characters, which is pretty funny. So take a look at that as well. Thanks.